Okay, so we've made it pretty much to the end now. We need to actually render all this stuff out. And I don't mean just in our interactive render view. Let's take a look at our output area here and make sure that everything is on the up and up. One thing we need to check, or fix, I should say, is the spectrum and masks should wait for the compressed to finish. And the reason why is that now that we've updated things, if you look in our out ocean splash, remember we moved our masks into it. They happen after the compressed happens because the compressed has to go through these particle fluid masks first and then composite the masks together and then output them. So they have to wait for this. So okay, once they're done, then yes, the ocean foam can run because that's dependent on just the regular old mask and spectrum stuff. And then this was where we just had it move up, which also has to wait for the compressed. We have the surface, which of course has to wait for that, and the interior has to wait for that, so that makes sense. The whitewater waits for that, of course, and then the mist and spray can happen like this. The reason why I don't just put, like, let's say the mist, in line with that is because technically, if you had a render farm, you could have these run at the same time. Once the whitewater is done, the mist refinement can happen on one computer and the spray, I don't know, I keep doing that. The spray refinement can happen on one computer and the mist on another. So if you do end up using even an internet-based render farm like grid markets, this order will be important. So moving on to the bottom, let's think this through. We have our infinite ocean. We have the splash that will go on top of it. We have the foam that will go on top of that. We have the spray that goes, and the mist that goes on top of that. We've talked a lot about the boat, but we never actually made a boat render. So let's do that now. Boat. And we know, of course, that we want that to be the boat. Now let's just go through these one by one and make sure that our various phantom and matte settings are correct, because we didn't really spend too much time setting them up for most of these. So we'll start with the ocean infinity. Ocean infinity is literally the ocean itself with what we're seeing on the inside. Nothing really needs to mask it because we're going to composite all that stuff on top of it. So that's an easy one. So we're done with that. The splash is a little trickier. It is, of course, the ocean splashy surface itself, seeing through to the volume on the inside as well as the bubbles. But the splash should also, maybe it should we should phantom the boat into this too. Let's say the boat should actually be reflecting, certainly, on the water, and we should be able to see it through the water. So let's control click on render boat here. So we're adding boat into that layer. Again, phantom means it's not seen primarily. We're not going to see the whole boat rendered, but we will see it in reflections. We'll see it casting shadows and stuff. So that should be good. What else do we need to do? The foam itself. The foam should be, of course, the foam, but for a lot of these whitewater things, we need to exclude, or we need to matte out, really, the water itself. So I'm going to say, for the foam, go find your splash exterior, and the boat again. The boat will probably show up in most of these, so that should do it. Let's see, what else we got to do? We got to do the mantra spray. Mantra spray, I think we did set up already. That one is the spray. It should also have the foam in the mat here. Or is that even really worthwhile? I'll say no. The spray is fine as it is. And what else we gotta do? We gotta do mantra mist. Mantra mist is, of course, that. This one has to be matted with, we'll matte out the spray itself. So go find the spray, and of course, the boat, and of course, the ocean splash exterior, like so. And the boat definitely needs to have the ocean in front of it, knocking it out. So do that, and that should probably be enough for him. So it's possible to tweak some of these later. I'm hoping that these will probably look good enough. Maybe we should matte out the foam for the spray. I don't know. Let's just try it as it is. And if we notice something weird about it, we'll switch it up. But okay. So otherwise, that should be all set. I mean, I hope I'm not beating a dead horse, but the idea for the mats is that we can then just drop all these layers on top of each other, and we don't have to worry about anything accidentally obscuring something it's not supposed to be, because that part we've already preemptively cut out of the render with these mats. So you'll see what I mean once we actually get to the compositing stage. And that's it. Well, that's it. Go to the spray. I say that's it, but I lie. Go to the spray. Let's just up the sampling on the spray, because that's a bunch of little tiny particles. Let's just give them a little bit more, or a lot of it, really resolution. And let's keep it all at half resolution for now, because there's a chance we might need to tweak some stuff that can't be handled in compositing. And that'll be the nice thing. We won't have to necessarily re-render everything. Like, we won't necessarily have to re-render the entire ocean if all we need to do is change the size of the particles, let's say, in the spray. So with all this stuff disabled up here, we can disable this too. I can go to the merge here, go to the render, and say node by node, and it'll go through each one and render it from beginning to end, and then move on to the next one, next one, next one, next one. So this will take a long time, as you can imagine, so go find something else to do.